Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, I hope you're having a great day. Let's get right to it. I have a history. Galileo was called to Rome for inquisition. And this is one of the biggest stains on the Catholic Church. And in history, it was a real big deal. Galileo, at the time, was like the preeminent scientist, okay? He was the Elon Musk. He was the Stephen Hawking at the time. Now, what they said and what they wanted him to come and explain himself is this. He concluded that the earth circumnavigates the sun, orbits the sun. The Catholic Church said, no. The earth is the center of the universe. The sun goes around the earth. Galileo knew that he was right and knew the church was wrong. And under threat of many things, he spent some time in prison. Galileo had to recant what he knew was the truth. He knew what the truth was. And he recanted the truth to save himself. I use this as an example in the middle of the COVID battle. Isn't that pretty extraordinary history? And very relevant to this day. Having to be forced to recant that which you know is true in order to save yourself. Sad. All right, let's get right to it. Trump is going to meet, apparently he's going to meet in Saudi Arabia with Putin, but he's had conversations with Putin and Zelensky, and it's time to end the war. It's clear Zelensky and Putin want the war over. It'll probably be some territory swap and some other, but Trump is going to end this war, which, as Trump said, should have never happened. Remember, Joe Biden let it happen. He didn't do anything to stop it from happening. He could have said no-fly zone, we're putting tanks, don't do it. He could have said, okay, Ukraine's never going to be in NATO. He could have done countless things. He wanted this war to happen. Think about the harm and the damage to the world as a result of this, much less Russia and Ukraine. All right, what else? Tulsi Gabbard was confirmed. McConnell was the only person in the United States Senate to vote against her. Only person to vote against her. Only Republican. But she was confirmed and she's been sworn in as the intelligence officer for Donald Trump. And then we have this weirdness. Worcester, Massachusetts is going to be a sanctuary city for transgenders. What the hell does that mean? Transgenders can go anywhere they want in this country. It is so bizarre. You know what these people are? They have mental health issues. Not only do they have mental health issues, they are attention seekers. Big time attention seekers. All right, a judge has reversed himself and said the federal buyout for federal workers can move forward. Big win for Trump. Bondi is going after all the Democratic states like New York and whatnot, Chicago, Illinois, for them not complying with federal law relative to illegal immigrants. Go, Pamela Joe, go. Trump says Department of Education needs to go right away. It is a fraud. We educate our kids bottom up, not top down. It's unbelievable. X has paid Trump $10 million for some of the things that they did to Trump. This is funny. Think about that. Trump's getting a lot of lawsuit settlements, if you didn't notice. Melania is going to bring back White House tours. Good for Melania. Musk said there's a limestone mine that is used to process federal benefits for federal workers. It's like bizarro world. Bizarro. By the way, we'll have this tomorrow about some of the waste. Zeldin, EPA, found out that they parked like $20 million into a bank account that there's no reason crazy stuff they're finding out. Go Musk go. $80 million that the FEMA sent to New York City, well, it apparently hadn't been spent yet, and they pulled it back. Good job, Tulsi Gabbard. Saturday's deadline for Gaza now. Hamas just announced they'll abide by the original agreement. But we'll see if that's really the case. This is wild. 80 million unexploded bombs, Laos claims they have from the Vietnam War. I just cannot believe that. That is insane. If it's true, holy cow. Just think if they all went off at once. Trump is now the new chairman of the Kennedy Center. The Kennedy Center. You talk about a 180 degree in arts. They're going to have Toby Keith-like music at the Kennedy Center. Constitutional crisis, such a baloney. I did a Facebook Live about this. There's no constitutional crisis. Donald Trump is the head of the executive branch. Deal with it. Representative Presley, she wants DEI back and she wants reparations. Boy, that's the way for the Democrats to battle back from the debacle. Ask for reparations. Trump has sent out letters firing a bunch of U.S. attorneys. We'll see what happens in these parts. Vince McMahon's prosecution is over with. And Musk is asking the question, which we've all been asking, how can congressmen get so rich on congressmen's salaries? We all know why. This is the Bulldog. Coming up next, local news. All right, here we go. Jim Tressel is confirmed as your next Lieutenant Governor of Ohio. This is an interesting development. And I have a hard time believing that Tressel will taste that and not run for governor. It'll be interesting. Archbishop Schnoor, who's been battling cancer, has resigned. And his replacement is the auxiliary bishop, Robert G. Casey, who's replaced him. Nate Morris, a businessman from Kentucky. I'm going to tell you, I've never heard of the guy before, but he's probably some rich Kentuckian. Says he's going to run for McConnell's seat. That'll be interesting. I still don't know how he beats Barr. Whoever Trump endorses will win. Cleveland Clinic was voted the wokest hospital. I think Cincinnati Children's is right behind him. And Gipteris James pled guilty and has been sentenced for 13 years over in Hamilton County for COVID fraud. Can you imagine the number of COVID fraud? Coming up next, Jamie Spindley in his World News.
Hello again, the latest world headlines. Egypt announced it is developing a plan to rebuild Gaza, aiming to ensure Palestinians can remain on their land. The Egyptian foreign minister expressed a desire to work with the US to achieve a fair resolution for Palestinians. Firefighters rescued workers trapped on a window ledge after a fire broke out at a clothing factory in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. The factory was producing costumes for Brazil's upcoming carnival. At least 20 people were injured and some serious. In other news, a car drove into a crowd in Munich, Germany, injuring at least 20 people. Authorities detained the driver at the scene. Emergency services responded immediately. And an explosion at a food court in Taichung City, Taiwan, killed at least 4 people and left several others hospitalized. Authorities reported 7 injuries and dispatched rescue teams, including dogs and drones, to search for the victims. That's all I have for today. I'll be back tomorrow, but stay tuned for Sports Without Boundaries. Cheerio.
All right, here we go with Sports Without Boundaries. Xavier 91, Providence 82. Luciana Acosta has been traded by the Cincinnati team, their best player, to FC Dallas. An Eagles fan was spotted doing a voodoo doll against Kansas City during the Super Bowl. Is this why they won? It might be. Anthony Edwards, there's text messages coming out when a woman got pregnant. He goes, have the abortion. It makes him look bad. And Covington Catholic was runner-up in the Kentucky State Bowling Championship. They lost to Trinity. I don't know if you all know this, but Trinity wins everything. Trinity and Xavier down in Louisville. Coming up next, pop culture. All right, here we go with pop culture. We're going to begin with the 2025 nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Appearing on the ballot for the first time, Bad Company, Black Crowes, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Billy Idol, Maina, Outkast, and Fish. You know what I got to say about this, which is just, I just find it interesting, is it looks like the way we're going, every band that's ever played will end up in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Black Crowes, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Come on. Outkast? Fish? I don't get it. Seth Rogen, coming around a little bit. See, everybody can now be honest. Seth Rogen says he's sick and tired of the effing hippies dropping acid on the streets in California. In other words, he's coming around a little bit. Jake Paul says he's got a jet because he's global. Good for you, Jake Paul. Enjoy your jet. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. I hope today is yours.